Yeah, asante. Council,
Mm.
uh, um, members of our audience, you are most welcome. You on General Bigirwa Moses media platform. You are aware that I'm a student of law, and we are moving slowly, slowly. I'm moving slowly, slowly. I have started this show today. We shall be discussing matters of law because I need to update you on what's going on at Kampala International University. Today we are going to discuss a constitutional matter, the constitutional history. I'm joined by Council James. He's my friend. He's my legal brain. He assists me in discussing this matter. So today uh, we are beginning with the Lancaster conference, the first constitutional conference in the history of Uganda. In our constitutional history, when Uganda was approaching to get independence, there are many factors which were discussed in different conferences. The first conference was the Lancaster conference, and then uh, the second one was Marlborough conference in the late 60s. So, Council James,
Yes,
you
sir.
are most welcome. I want you to take us through this conference. What exactly transpired? What was the issues at hand? What was the composition of the conference? What are the objectives in that conference? And what are the significances to the constitutional development of Uganda in comparison to 1995 Constitution? Yes,
Okay.
Council James.
Okay. It's
Yes,
my pleasure to be here.
yes.
Um, Morning, viewers. So, we want to look at deeply. We are going to look at the Marburg and the Lancaster conference,
Mm,
and we shall be addressing the significance it contributed to the development of our constitution. Apparently, of course, we are using the 1995 Uganda Constitution.
yes.
But, Council, when you go back and you look at our history,
Mm,
before we got independence,
yes.
we had the challenges
Yes.
that we had to first address
Mm,
so that we can get our
yes.
independence. Now, when I take you back in the 1900
Buganda
Buganda
agreement.
Agreement,
Mm,
you're going to see that when you come back to our history and you look at the First World War, when you trace back, if a country defeats the defeated country,
mm.
some of the properties are taken away from it. Now it cannot stand, it cannot fight, it cannot do
Because
anything.
it has been defeated.
It has been defeated. So we are going to see that Buganda, they were good at collaboration. So they collaborated with the British to defeat Kabalega.
Yes.
So immediately they defeated Kabalega. The British had to appease. When you go back to history, we have what we call the appeasement policy of the Navere Chamberlain,
Yes.
whereby they appease you for the work you've done. It's like an appreciation. So when Buganda collaborated with the British and defeated Kabalega, they got some of the counties, what I can say, maybe some of the property of Bunyoro,
Yes.
some of the land from Bunyoro, and then it was awarded to Buganda to appease them for what they did. Now,
For helping the whites to defeat
yes,
the
yes, exactly. Now, you're going to see that there were 7 counties, by the way. We had Singo, Bugerere, Buyaga, Bugangaizi, Bulemezi, and Buludi, plus Bwekura. So
Yes.
that land was part of Bunyoro. So immediately, Bunyoro was defeated by the British, being hoped by Buganda. So the British sat down and drafted a document, what some people call it like, and others may call it like the first legal framework of Uganda.
Yes.
They formulated a document called the 1900 Buganda Agreement, and then they caught that land from Bunyoro, all those 7 counties, and they gave it to
Uganda.
Buganda. But yes, initially it was coming from Bunyoro. So, of course, under the law, that's an argument. Bunyoro was already defeated, had nothing to do. We took the decision that these guys were taken, and we started off moving. So time reached for the entire Uganda to emerge, to unite into one country called Uganda. So to get independence, we had to first settle the problems that the natives were facing. So you will see that Bunyoro,
that came from the 1900s.
Yes, Bunyoro was not happy with the move that the British and Buganda took to take away their land. So what they did, they said, for us to get to emerge with the rest of Uganda to get independence, we want back our counties. That's why, by the way, they call them the lost counties, the 7 lost counties. So those counties, Bunyoro was like, for us, we want our counties. Buganda said, no way. We can't give you back those counties. So when you see these guys had to go back now and sit to get independence, how shall we solve this political unrest? Now they have to travel to Lancaster.
Yes.
Abroad. And they sat. The major 2 issues were at hand. One, the issue of the lost counties. Secondly, the method of voting.
Key issues at Lancaster.
Yes. How shall we resolve the matters of the lost counties, and how shall we vote? So you're going to see that Buganda,
the lost counties.
Yes, Buganda, for it was believing in dialect.
There were 7 initially.
So Buganda was believing in
and then the mode of voting.
Buganda was believing in dialect method. And these days for them, they wanted in dialect method. But we shall be looking them in details now. If I can try to summarize it up or to give you a brief introduction about the Lancaster Conference, when these guys went and sat, still they did not resolve finally. Because Bunyoro said...
Before we reach on that point, what is the interpretation of direct method, direct election, direct voting, and indirect?
Now, Buganda, for them, they wanted the voting should be done by them. Buganda, yes.
Then, determine on the counties whether they can go back or
so they never wanted to involve other parties.
Yes.
And then the British were like, no, Buganda and even Bunyoro, it's all an issue at hand. You're all part of it.
Yes.
You must be all involved, which Buganda didn't want. Because for them, they thought that in case it was going to be in dialect, of course, Bunyoro was not going to agree. So they had to go to Lancaster.
Yes.
Now, when they went to Lancaster, still we did find the final resolution. But what were the key issues? How were they being discussed? And what was the resolution there? Out of the 7 counties, the 5 counties, they said, for us, we are happy with the administration of Uganda, therefore we want to stay. Then Bunyoro...
And that is which county we are
that was... Get the 7 counties, yes. Stingo, Bulemezi, Bururi, Butambala, Buyaga, Buganga and Bulemezi. Now, yes. you move 2. It was only Buyaga and Buganga that said, for us, we want to go to Bunyoro. But the rest of the 5, they said, for us, we are happy with the administration of Buganda, therefore want to stay. But it was a serious challenge, yes, to the key orders, to the people that were supposed to be taking those resolutions. Because when they said so, Bunyoro didn't agree. By the way, they did the boycott. They marched out majestically and they moved out. Because they were looking at it to be a cheating. They said, no, we cannot believe in it. For them, they wanted the all 7. And then also Buganda said, okay, since these 5 have agreed, but still, they said the 2 that want to go, we shall not sign on it. We don't want. Remember, by that time, we are seeing now Kabaka, Edward,
yes,
as the ruler. He didn't take a step to sign on it. Then the colonial government, with Obote also, they are saying no. For us, we are ready to put the pen on the paper. But since we wanted the independence and we wanted unity, we never wanted Uganda to be a country within Uganda.
Yes.
They said, okay. The 2 counties, it's a no man's land. They don't belong to Bunyoro and they don't belong to
Uganda.
They are just there. Then the 5 1, they are going to remain. which Bunyoro didn't want.
Yes.
But of course, under the law, they signed. But council, you're going to find out that up to now, we are still finding such a challenge.
Of course.
When you go back to Bururi, you know that the Bururi, they speak their own language.
Yes.
They speak Luluri. They have their cultural leader called Sabaluri.
Yes.
And even recently on the Labor Day, National Labor Day, I think it was being introduced. So for them, they still have that attachment. They still believe that they are not part of Uganda. Though when you look at the demarcation of the map of Uganda, they cover all those 7 counties to be their part of
yes. Bururi is part of
Uganda.
Yes.
Geographically,
yeah.
Yes, by the map. But for them, the Balul, they believe that in practice and in reality, they are totally different. And I think when you trace back, you look, I think it was 2010, 2007.
2009.
When we had that challenge whereby
the Kawaka wanted to go to Kayunga.
And he was stopped by the Inspector General of Police by land.
The state.
Kayugura, yes.
As a result, chaos began. Almost the government collapsed. So it is a sensitive matter.
Yes, so
very sensitive.
The background is coming from that. So now the issues that were not solved, we said, okay, since you've not solved, but again you want to solve and you get independence. They took the minute. They said that unsolved matters shall be called again to Marburg. So they had to sit to get another second conference. That's the Marburg conference. But now when you look at the Marburg conference, we are together, Council.
Yes. The two issues which are not resolved.
Yes, they were
referred to
Marburg conference.
Another meeting.
Yes, to another meeting.
Conference.
Yes. Now, in the Marburg conference, for them, the key 3 issues they were supposed to discuss. Though the other 2, to make it 5, that came from the Lancaster, were being topped up. But for them, they were supposed to be talking about 3 major issues. 1, the constitution.
Yes.
Secondly, citizenship. Thirdly, that's taxation. Now, you're going to see that the constitution, what were they supposed to be talking about in the Lancaster? They had to determine who shall govern Uganda, what method of leadership shall we be having, what president shall we be having, are we going to be having the monarchy system?
The key issues in the Marburg conference were there?
There were 3. The constitutional committee, they had to sit and formulate the committee that was responsible to draft the constitution.
That will govern us after the independence.
Yes. That's the constitutional committee. We also had the citizenship committee.
Yes.
Let's talk about citizenship, who is a citizen of Uganda. And we were also supposed to be talking about taxation.
Yes.
Now, when you look, then plus also the 2.
This is the fiscal committee.
Yes, fiscal committee. You can call it the fiscal committee that involved taxation.
Yes.
Matters of taxation, and now there are also the remaining 2 that were carried from the Lancaster.
These 3 key issues in the Marburg, they added the other 2. We are pending from
the Lancaster.
So they became
that's the issues of the lost counties. And then the election process, the voting method.
Lost counties, and then the voting methods.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, you're going to see that in the Constitutional Committee, what was there in details? What were they supposed to talk about? The Constitution. As we are aware that the Constitution is the legal framework of Uganda.
Yes.
So we had any government to qualify as a government under the rule of law, it must be having a legal document that is supreme.
Yes.
And that's the Constitution. So now they have to sit down and formulate a legal document which they called the 1962 Constitution. But on that legal document, it was stipulating on how the governance of Uganda was going to be run. That's why when you go back and you reverse when you look at the 1962 Constitution details, you're going to see that the first president was a Muganda. The second, the vice was the Chabazinga. So
Yes.
that constitution was made to be rotational. That after 5 years, those people were going to step down. Also, Munyankole from Kingdom, Ankole Kingdom, and the Munyolo from Munyolo Kingdom were also going to get. Also, after 5 years, then again we get a Muso yes, something. So it was going to be like that. But unfortunately, to our dismay, it didn't happen because it had only just taken like for 4 years. And then we had the Kabaka crisis, and Obote had to abolish everything. So when you look at that committee, the constitutional committee, that's whereby they sat down and they drafted an idea that no, to bring harmony, let's make it the rulers to be rotational. You rule for 5 years, then from there you give another kingdom also for 5 years, so that you can know that you all share the national cake of Uganda. So these are the things that was in the constitutional committee, meaning it led to the birth of the 1962 constitution.
The constitutional committee. Yes.
Then we are also going to look at the citizenship, meaning matters of citizen were being talked.
It led to the birth of 1962 constitution.
Yes. Now, when you come back, council, and you look at it, because by the Uganda has produced various constitutions, but apparently, this one of the 1995 is the supreme law of the land. It's the parent law we are using. That's why when you look at Article 2 of this legal framework, it talks about the supremacy of the constitution. Now, when you look at this constitution, remember what we are discussing right now, it contributed to the development of this apparent constitution. Yes. When you come back and you look at Article 9 of this constitution, it talks about citizenship.
Yes.
Article 9, Article 10, Article 11, 12, 13, 14.
So I think we can read it.
Yes. It talks about citizenship.
Citizenship. Yes, Article 9.
Yes.
It reads as follows. Every person who, on the commencement of this constitution, is a citizen of Uganda shall continue to be such a citizen. That's Article 9.
That's Article 9. So this article, they borrowed the leaf from the what?
From 1962 constitution.
And even 1962 constitution, it was being discussed in the Mbale conference that gave birth to the 1962 constitution. So you are going to see that this 1995 constitution, it's a birth of the 1962 constitution. They polished. Though when you look at it, the other 1962, you are going to see that for it was more of the kingdoms, chiefdoms than this one. This one appreciates the fundamental rights. By the way, council,
public constitution.
When you look at this constitution, it's one of the best legal frameworks in Uganda that Uganda has ever done. But that's on the paper. But in practice, it might be vice versa. But this is
one can challenge you with the view that this constitution, though it appreciated all aspects of life, the rights and whatever, but if you look at the key issues, the power sharing, the allocation of resources and the power of the presidents, it covers 85%. The power, it given the president power, a lot of powers, because every article is about the president shall. But anyway, that is a debate of another day.
I think that, as you said, that one will be the debate of another day. Remember what we are doing, council, it must be in line with the constitution.
Yes.
And when you go back and you look at Article 98 of the constitution, it says that's what gives the president all those powers. So we don't blame ourselves. I think the intentions of the framers of the constitution, they had something that they were trying to cure.
They wanted to have a president.
Yes, but when you look at Article 98, it talks about the president of Uganda.
I know it. I even sued it. I sued the president himself. But my case was dismissed based on Article 98.
Yes, because they are telling under clause 1, there shall be the president of Uganda, who shall be the head of state, head of government, commander in chief.
Yes.
Of the Uganda Force Defenses and the fountain of honor.
So, and the president shall not take precedence over all persons in Uganda and in descending order, Vice President, the Speaker, Chief Justice shall take precedent over all other persons in Uganda. In other words, the President is
everything. But those people who are questioning his authority, you have a remedy. When you look at Article 137, Clause 3, Paragraph A and B, it talks about matters of the constitutional interpretation. And any person who feels like Parliament or executive has passed a law but is not in line with the rights of the Ugandans or the constitution, then you have to you know what to do. You go to the constitutional court to interpret the constitution, and maybe if the constitutional court feels right, then they can set it aside. Yeah, but apparently we are taking the constitution to be the legal framework, because that's what it says. So if you have any doubt and anything to talk about it, go to the constitutional court and challenge. Because when you look at Article 50 of the constitution, it talks about fundamental rights, enforcement of fundamental rights. Or any person who feels that his rights are being infringed and contravened, then he can go to the court and seek redress. Therefore, you can go to the constitutional court to challenge that.
Yes.
But that will be the topic of another day.
So let's go back to our conference, the two conferences.
When you look at this conference, as I'm telling you now, when they sat down, the Lancaster, the Malmö conference, it was the last nail into the coffin to give us independence. So when they sat down, they agreed on how we shall be ruled, on how the constitution is going to be, who will be the president, who will be the vice president. It also went ahead and told us who qualifies to be a citizen of Uganda. And that's why we came in with the birth under Article 10 of the Constitution, citizen by birth. We have also what we call nationalism. We have what we call citizenship. We are going to be looking at what we call registration. We shall also look at what we call adoption, and then nationalization. So the ideas of this, what we are reading right now in this constitution, they came back from the 1962 constitution, and even in 1962, it was being discussed in the Malmö conference. So in the Malmö conference, we looked at the matter of citizenship. Who qualifies to be a citizen? Who's a citizen by birth, by nationalization, by adoption, by registration? All those matters were discussed there.
Yes.
Then, on matters of taxation, remember, before, since we had different kingdoms, you'd find that each kingdom would contribute taxes to work on its own kingdom, right?
Yes.
What people are adopting right now, what we call federalism. So that's what was there. But since now we wanted to imagine one country called Uganda to get independence, now we are looking for other ways. How shall we run as a country? So that's as a republic. That's when the matters of taxation were being talked about.
Okay.
That now every person will be paying taxes, and when every person pays taxes, after paying taxes, those taxes that you paid will be merged into the national treasury, or what you call the consolidated fund, so that they can contribute to the rest of the country, right? So here we are not looking at Simani. The taxation from Uganda is going to be working under the Buganda region, from Bunyoro Buganda region. No, every tax that you could collect from different provisions or different kingdoms were being merged together into the national treasury for the easy development of the country. That's why when you come back and you look at 153, it talks about the consolidated fund, meaning the taxes that you collect from various provinces.
Before we go to Article 153, you are saying that in the Malmö conference, they resolved that in the interest of forming one Uganda, okay, all regions should merge their finances and form a national consolidated fund.
Yes.
Okay, that's what was agreed.
Yes.
Okay.
And now we are seeing that one in our given current constitution. When you look at Article 153,
yes,
whereby the funds from other provinces and kingdoms are being merged into one treasury, right?
Yes.
Now, there we shall be seeing even the development of the Ministry of Finance that deals with the whole country.
Did Uganda object to this or they did not?
And they did object to that.
Because they were to get the first president.
Yes, not Kakati. They bought that idea of being the first president so that they know that now they also have the national cake.
Yes.
So, now when you come back, Council, I think when you look at Article 17, Article 17 talks about duties of the citizen. But on Article 17, paragraph G, it gives every citizen in Uganda a right to pay taxes. But those taxes that you pay, they are merged together into the national treasury, what we call the consolidated fund under Article 130, Article 157, so that now they can be develop the whole country. So in this, we are not looking at that only taxes that were coming from Bunyoro.
Let's look at
from Busoga.
That article for purposes of clarity. Purposes of clarity, let's look to that authority. 153.
Look at Article 157, 53 clause 1.
Yes. Consolidated fund. This is 1995 Constitution. There shall be a consolidated fund into which shall be paid all revenues or other monies raised or received for the purposes of or on behalf of or in a trust for the government. This is the consolidated fund which pays salary to the public servant.
Now, can you also go back first wait before you close the Constitution? Can you read for me Article 17, paragraph G?
Article 17. 17, paragraph.
Article 17, paragraph G.
Yes, I have it here. Paragraph what?
Paragraph G.
Paragraph G. To pay taxes. The duties of a citizen. Okay? Pay taxes. Yes, that is it.
So meaning every citizen, and as I told the earlier council that before, I think before for us we started knowing these things of taxes, our parents and our brands used to tell us that for them they were being chased. They could chase you when you clock 18 and it was a mandatory. I think there is a certain amount of money that those people used to pay. Whether they will find in the garden or where, then by that time you could find people, they are running up and down.
I know it. I saw my father paying it, my elder brother paying it, and the other citizens.
But even us, we are still paying it. But for us, we pay it in a formal way.
For you did not found it.
But
you are scrapped off.
But now when I buy a constitution, when I buy a shirt, I'm paying a tax, but I'm paying it indirectly.
Of course, that is indirect tax.
Yes. But before those people of ours, man, they faced a lot of challenge.
So it was a small money, but it was an embarrassing money.
They would correct it in an embarrassing form.
Yes, it was the operation of, they used to carry out operations to correct it, to enforce it. So that those operations were embarrassing. They were embarrassing people, really. It's just people in the village.
So,
and the cost was high, yet the outcome was low. So the government decided to scrap it.
But I think I was told that it was that for the government to scrap it off, that it was in the manifesto of Dr. Citizenship. When he spoke about it,
Dr. Bessie talked about it in 2001, that when he becomes the president, is going to scrap it off. So even General 7 pick it at that level, I think.
So
yes, it was anyway a combination of factors. It was not one factor.
Indeed. Now, Council, you are going to see that when you look at generally when you look at these conferences, the Lancaster and the Mbale, they really played a fundamental role in the development of our constitution, because had these people not sat, then those issues would not be resolved. They wouldn't be resolved. So they are setting their resolutions by forming the constitution, by defining who is a citizen, by defining on how the revenue and taxes shall be collected and being distributed to the rest of other parts of the country,
Yes.
by solving the matters of the lost counties, it was a cardinal step into the development of the constitution of Uganda. Yes. So they are so good when you look at them and you read, these were the last nails into the coffin for the enactment of the 1962 constitution. So you cannot talk about the 1962 constitution minus citing the Marburg and the Lancaster conference, because the debate that took place in those conferences, they're the one that gave us the birth of the 1962 constitution.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in short, you are saying that when you are reading constitutional history, as I'm reading, okay, I am a student of 1-1. I cannot escape reading about the Lancaster conference and the Marburg conference.
You know, council in the law school, it's not all about passing, but it's all about also understanding.
Understanding and appreciating.
Appreciate the law.
Okay.
You don't just read it. There are those people who tell you, this number, it was not set last year. It's not common. But then you cannot know the history of Uganda and appreciate the legal frameworks minus citing those two conferences. They are really so important.
Okay. So the significance of the current constitution of 1995 is the formation, is the creation of consolidated fund.
Yes.
And Article 153.
Article 53.
Yes.
Then we shall also be saying
Article 17.
17 clause
D.
I mean, it's paragraph. It's not a clause. It's a paragraph.
Paragraph D.
Yes, where you're saying that people are mandated to be have a duty to pay taxes. We shall also see citizenship. Who qualifies to be a citizen? Under what type do you be a citizen? Is it only by birth? What about adoption, nationalization, dual registration? All those matters were being solved.
This is
and even unity.
Citizenship.
Look at, I think citizenship. Look at Article 9.
Article 9.
It talks about a citizen of Uganda.
Yes.
Then talk about Article 10. It talks about by birth. Talk about 11 it talks about adoption, I think. Then talk about registration, dual, and nationalization. So from Article 9 up to Article 12.
For purposes of clarity and to be sure on the authorities, Article 9 is about citizens of Uganda. Chapter 3. Every person who, on the commencement of this constitution, is a citizen of Uganda shall continue to be such a citizen. Article 10 is about citizenship by birth. Article 11 is about foundings and adopted children. They are also captured in the constitution. Clause H about a child of not more than 5 years of age found in Uganda, whose parents are not known, shall be presumed to be a citizen of Uganda by birth. Those are Abanyarwanda bakayanira wano. Tuli Uganda.
No, Ugandans are Ugandans. So when you go back and look at in the constitution, I think it's Schedule 3. In the Schedule 3 of the constitution, it has all the tribes in Uganda. There's no any tribe by the Rwanda called Banyarwanda. It's not there. I think they have the Tutsi, the Hutu. There are 3 tribes. But for them, now when you look at the 3rd schedule, yes, you open the schedule. Those people who tell that Banyarwanda are not Ugandans, I think they haven't appreciated the law. Banyarwanda, have you seen the 3rd schedule? You go at the back of your constitution. It has all the indigenous tribes in Uganda. And Banyarwanda qualify to be Ugandans.
Yes.
I think you look at a tribe.
Banyarwanda 24.
24.
These were the tribes by the commencement of this constitution.
Yes. So the Munyarwanda qualifies to be a Ugandan. There's not a
Escaped.
tribe called what? Banyarwanda in Rwanda.
Uganda's indigenous communities as at 1st February 1926. Oh, there were how many tribes? There were 65 by 1920.
Yes.
1926. Banyarwanda inclusive.
Yes.
So they are part of us,
Yes.
I think. Anyway, thank you, Council, for taking us through those two conferences, very important historical conferences, as far as the history of Uganda, the historical constitutional history is concerned. I think, Council, let's look at the Ibingira case now. We finish with that.
Yes.
Ibingira case. I beg your pardon? No, we do. Okay. Oh, okay. I think that's okay. Yes. What we are going to do, thank you, Council. I think you have appreciated the conversation. You have understood the conversation. This paper, it is called the Constitutional History. History 1 of Uganda. We start with the 1900 Uganda government. We go to 1902 Order in Council, 1920 Order in Council, and then these conferences, as you are seeing, the Lancaster Conference, the Mbale Conference, 1966 crisis, 1971 coup, the politics of 1980, as you remember, the NRM, how it came to power, its achievement, the NRM, we shall take you there, its achievement. When the government is still in power, we don't talk about the criticism. We don't criticize the sitting government. As far as academics is concerned, we look at its achievement, and we shall take you next time. Today, that is it. Bwebale kubeerako nja kubanga mbaleeterangayo, tujja kuba tukolangayo sheno mpola mpola, tulabe nga mubeere nga mutambula n'okumanya okusinziira ku bigenda mu maaso. That is it. Mubeere mulungi, mweraba.